Okay, so now I just want to show you a couple of things on the software before we go further. So there's a green square on the top right of the PC screen. This is to show you if you're online or offline. So let's say like it's green when you are online, and if I hit the F3 key, right now it's red right here, and that means that I am offline. So to go online and offline, just use the F3 key, will be quite easy. So F3 again. So right now I'm online. If you want to go to perform a firmware update, so the only thing you have to do right now, you go on ECU controls on the top menu there. You go on ECU control and you click update firmware. So I just click yes there. Okay, so right now it's telling you a couple of things. So let's say like okay, so it's saying like firmware update version 4.8.9 blah 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 blah. Do you want to perform this firmware update? You click Y for yes, and yes again, and after that it will try to boot the ECU and overlap, and you will be performing a firmware update. One thing, there's a big capacitor inside the ECU for the engine reverse function. Make sure that when you power off the ECU, try to wait at least 5 to 10 seconds before rebooting the ECU, because it will just keep the power in. Because right now it's asking me, please cycle power to ECU, so you want to turn it off and on. So I'll just use my power supply right now, so I'll just turn it off. And I'll wait like 5 to 10 seconds while I'm starting. And after that, let's go. So I think it's plenty enough. So right now the ECU will reboot, booting new firmware and everything. Right now we'll be able to get started. So I hit the F3 key again to get online. So right now I'm online. The second thing you have to do every time you install one of our ECU, it's perform a throttle position sensor calibration. Because with the normally aspirated setup with dual throttle bodies, I always suggest my customer to use throttle position sensor as the y-axis for the fuel table. But if you don't have an accurate reading from the throttle position sensor, you're gonna get like a lot of glitches while you do testing, because you'll feel like a lot of hesitation and everything on the acceleration feel and everything, because everything is based on the throttle position sensor. So it's really important to get this one right. So to get the throttle position sensor set up properly, you go on options and you go on TPS setup. Right now he's asking me depress throttle to fully open position. So what I'll do, I'll just put it full throttle, so we're 100%. I just hit enter and then release throttle to fully close, enter. Now if I just play with the throttle, you can see it right here. You got the throttle position sensor reading. So if I just play with it a little bit, everything is there. I get 100%. Everything is fine. So now, once this is done, you can hit the F4 key. The F4 key is for storing the ECU. A lot of standalone don't have that feature. One thing that is really fun with the VIPEC is while the engine is running or while the engine is you tuning the engine, you can perform store every time. You don't have to stop the engine and load the map like let's say AEM and a couple of other ECUs. Okay, right now, to get you started, if you just want to get a quick tune of it, because as I said before, the tune that is in the map right now, it's quite simple, and it's exactly what the stock ECU does, really close of it. So let me just show you a couple of quick things so you can start to play with the software. So if I want to look at the ignition table, I'll just click I. So get me right away to the ignition table. If I just want to go to the fuel table, I just click F for fuel, and I'm right there. So you can switch between tables really easily with the VIPEC while you're tuning. One thing too, you have like the ECU setting tab right here on the let me just get that camera there. Right here you got that ECU settings. If I just hit the escape key, it pops up exactly everything you need to know about the software. You got configuration, fuel ignition, limits, auxiliary output fuel, digital input, analog input, triggers, motorsport, idle speed control, boost control, and knock control. The fueling, there's the fuel equation. Let's say like the fuel equation, it's really important to understand how the VIPEC works with that fuel equation before starting to tune those engines. You got a AFR target table. That AFR target table is included in the fuel equation. Okay, so first of all, the first thing you have to do is put exactly how much fuel you want at each RPM and at each throttle position sensor load. So like that you can fine-tune the thing, and all the quick tune feature and the mixture map feature are based on that AFR target table. So once, let me explain a little bit further. Let's say I have target AF ratio at 7,000 RPM. 7,000 RPM of 12.9 AF ratio. So the thing is, the ECU, the way it works, so I want to match my fuel table to that 12.9. So once let's say like I'm at 7,000 RPM and 100 throttle position sensor, 100%. So let me hit F key to get to the fuel table. I'll just go at 7,000 RPM and 100. This is this cell there. So once this cell has been tuned exactly to that target air fuel ratio value, then you won't have to change anything in that fuel table. If you want to change, let's say like you want to try to run the engine a little bit leaner or richer, just to do some quick tests, so I just can hit the AFR target again, and I can just change. Right now, let's say I wanted 12.9 and I have 12.9 AF ratio. Let's say I want 12.5. Just hit 12.5 right there. Sorry about that. 12.5 right there, and done. The ECU will change the air fuel ratio by himself. But the first thing to do is always match the fuel table with the AFR table. So I think it's really easy, and as I said, like when you want to do testing and you want just to change, let's say from 13:1 AF ratio to 12:1, you don't have to tune again the entire fuel table. You just have to change it by the AFR target and everything will be done. After that, I want to show you a couple of things about because I cannot like really walk you through the software. I think it's quite easy. Just to show you something that is quite simple and really useful. Let's say I'm just gonna open like a menu like that, and I have like, let's say, injection mode. If I have a question, I want to know exactly what is that injection mode, I just right click on it and I click what's this, or you can click the F1 key, and now you have like a tuning function online help that opens to you, and you have you can it's like a big 600 pages manual, but it is online, so you can choose, you just right click on the menu and click F1, and you'll be able to have a help file that's going to explain you exactly how the ECU reacts and how the ECU works on that setup. The other thing, because we're gonna have to work together to get like let's say like the best product and the best results out of it, and for sure you guys are gonna have to send me data log. Data log is everything I need to help you out, you guys. So with a log and your file, I'll be able to run it on the simulator and tell you pretty much what's going on with it, and if you did a mistake or something, I'll be able probably to fix it by internet. So the thing is, let me just go on Logger. The Logger, I just have like a standard log file open right now. I don't even know what it is, but it doesn't really matter. The log file, the way it is, let's say, okay, this is a root blower Mustang or something. The way the data log works, it's pretty much the same as Motec. So I don't know if you guys ever worked with Motec programmable ECU. If I right click in my logger screen, I can go on properties right there, and I can choose group, and I can choose parameter. So let's say I want to remove the I'll remove everything and I'll start from scratch. So let's say I have a log file open and I don't want to see anything on my screen. If I hit OK, clock, everything disappeared. So right now we'll start from 0. So the first thing usually you're gonna need for dialoguing, so I'll just add a group, because a group is let's say it's quite hard for me to explain it like that, but I'll show you. I'm sure you guys will understand. So let's say I want to put engine speed as my first thing. If I want to change the color of it, I just double click on it, and you can put it green if you want, or let's say we'll put it pink so everybody will remember it. Okay, so right now I have a big pink RPM signal, okay? But if I want to have, let's say, the intake air temperature, see like how it goes, or let's say like we'll go see like the manifold absolute pressure. So let me just right click on it, and I'll just add a parameter, and we'll put manifold absolute pressure, and I hit OK. So now I put the engine speed and the map sensor in the same group. Look how the graph is done. I have like that little yellow arrow right there, that is that yellow line, that is my manifold absolute pressure, and I have my RPM that is really big on my PC screen. So if I want to have detail on my line, because I don't really see that line moving, this is like from vacuum, and this is 20 pounds of boost, so that is not really accurate for reading. Like when you look, like it's not really definite, like it's not easy to see exactly what's going on with that line. So that is why if I go in properties and I just remove the map sensor right there, and I add a group, so they're gonna be separated, and I just add that map sensor again, and I hit OK. Now I have that RPM, that is a group, and I have a nice curve that show me the manifold absolute pressure of the intake manifold pressure. If I want to add again, so I highly suggest you to work with the groups, so you can really like make really nice dialoguing, and it's quite easy to see if something goes wrong or something. Anyway, it's gonna be way easier for you to work this way with it. So if I hit again properties right now, another thing that can be quite important is I'll add again a group and a parameter. You can always do a search. So let's say I want to put a target AFR. I can have like it displayed. So let me just put target. I just type in like target, and I have here AFR target. So I'll just put it in the same group. I want to have my actual wideband O2 sensor, so with it I'll be able to see the delta between the AFR target and my wideband. So I can like just put wideband here, or if not, because it's an analog input, so you can put AN right there, and you have like all analog inputs. So let's say the analog inputs was on analog volt 1, let's say. So let me just put it there. So see, it was